Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, and a very warm welcome to Tuesday's edition of the DC Extended Universe. There's many things I can tolerate in this world, but blaming your fans isn't one of them. Blaming your customer isn't one of them. If you fail, then you either keep your mouth shut or put your hands up to it. I write, direct, produce and star in my own plays. And if I do a shit play that the audience doesn't like, I apologize and tell them I will try better. I will tell them that for me, I'm proud of what I did, but I'm not making plays for myself. I'm making them for them. They've paid their money. They deserve to be listened to, but not modern day Hollywood. So, the cast of Shazam and their director, the cast of Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and their director have been tasked by their studio to go on social media and distract from their movie's failure onto the fans. Oh, the fans are being mean to us. We made a good movie, end of story, and we're going to continue making the same types of movies for everyone. Well, aren't you brave? Aren't you brilliant? Blaming ordinary working class people. Do you realise how much it costs to watch a fucking movie these days? If you watch a movie in America, I think it's no cheaper than around $20. I could be wrong about that. And then there's the petrol if you don't live locally to the movie theatre. How dare you attack ordinary working class people? You're a bunch of millionaire actors. David F. Sandberg, I'm sure you're a millionaire director. How dare you? Your movie didn't make enough money. Both your Shazam movies are perfectly solid, perfectly good. Your Shazam Fury of the Gods movie deserved to make more money. But your studio damaged the DC brand. Why aren't you blaming them? Oh yeah, you did. Kind of, a little bit. But then you bent the knee and pretended you didn't say what you said. It's not the fans' fault, but it's a distraction, you see, for their failure. Where was this energy when Zack Snyder and his fans were being attacked over Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice? All you had to do is say you liked Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice. You were mocked, memed and attacked. Why do you think the Snyder fans, some of them, are so toxic today? Because they were bullied and bullied because they liked the movie. Do you know what I like about Zack Snyder? I like him because he takes it. He takes it and he takes it. He knows he's making subjective movies. He loves subjective comics. He understands that some people are going to hate him for what he does, and some people are going to love him. And Zack always says, I appreciate the hate as much as the love, right? Back in the day, in the 18th century, people used to be, had their hands and necks locked in the gallows and have, rotten tomatoes thrown at them, right? And that's what we're getting here. That's what Twitter is. Sometimes, as a creative, as an actor, you are getting rotten tomatoes chucked at you, right? The analogy for me in people who have worked on Shazam Fury of the Gods, or the director who directed Shazam Fury of the Gods going, you're just being mean for the sake of it. It's like me buying a loaf of stale bread in the supermarket and then me going back and saying, I want my money back, or I want a loaf of bread that isn't mouldy, and you saying, you hate me, you're just being hateful for the sake of it. Eat the mouldy bread. What's wrong with the mouldy bread? That's like the cast of Shazam Fury of the Gods and the director of Shazam Fury of the Gods saying, you're just being a hater. I worked in retail, in shops from the age of 17 to 25. The number one rule was the customer is always right, even when they're wrong. But not New Hollywood. We've got Rachel Zegler arguing with fans. Rachel Zegler prancing around in 100,000 worth of dresses, walking on red carpets, acting like she's got the career of Nicole Kidman. She doesn't even have the career of Roseanne fucking Barr. Who are you? Handpicked by Steven Spielberg because of your special DNA. Yeah, she ain't just a Latino, right? And she's prancing around like she's Maiden. She's prancing around like she's Vivian fucking Lee. Who are you to attack ordinary working class people? Because it's a distraction. This is the very studio that attacked a director and bullied a director after his daughter took her own life tragically, and lied about the reason why he moved away from DC, lying that the reason was the suicide of his daughter. No, you were bullying him and pressuring him to mess about with his vision, with his art. And because he lost his daughter, he couldn't fight you. He even admitted that. You lied that Joss Whedon and Zack Snyder were good friends and that Zack Snyder handpicked Joss Whedon to finish his movie. And you've got the cheek to get your actors and director to attack the fans. I love Zack Snyder, but I too have clashed with, hardcore, devout Snyder fans. They talk shit about the Batman. They say it's a flop and compare it to the box office of BVS. They talk a lot of shit. It's true. But no matter what shit they talk, they have the right to say it, whether it's wrong or if it's right. Your customer is always right, even when they're wrong. But New Hollywood have decided that basically the customer is always wrong. And it's really funny because Seth MacFarlane was asked about the Orville season 4. And he said, well, you know what? The industry is in upheaval. I wonder why that is, Seth. An industry that has gaslit their own customer, selling extremism, attacking men for being men. Is it their male customers' fault that they work in an industry with a legacy of casting couches and child abuse and rape and having the Hollywood police, the LAPD police in their pocket? Is it our fault? Is it male customers' fault and geeks and nerds' fault that you have been run by a lot of bad males? And we know what a trash industry Hollywood is. And then they come out with this, oh, we're so kind and we're so compassionate. No, you're not. You're horrible people. Look what you did to Zack Snyder. As I say, where was the energy when Zack Snyder's Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice was attacked? Where were you then? Where were you talking about toxic fandom then? Did any of you give your thoughts with Zack Snyder when his daughter died? No. Where were you? Where was your energy? Shazam! Fury of the Gods failed. Either shut the fuck up or hold your hands up or apologise to the fans for not delivering a good enough movie. That's it. Whether you believe in your movie or not, it flopped. It flopped with verified critics on Rotten Tomatoes, whether that's right or wrong. And again, where was the energy when Zack Snyder's Batman vs. Superman had a low Rotten Tomatoes score by verified critics? I remember Amy Adams simply coming out and saying, you know what? Go and watch the movie, judge it for yourselves. Everyone has a right to love it or hate it. I remember that. Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill saying the same thing. Not one of those people on that production ever said it's the fans' fault. The fans don't have a right to an opinion. Let's look at Asher Angel, who plays Billy Batson. Let's look at, Jack Dylan Grazer, who plays Freddie Freeman. Those lads haven't gone onto social media and attacked the fans because they're solid young dudes. Rachel Ziegler, David F. Sandberg, and other cast members. It's no accident that they're attacking the fans. They've been told to do it by the studio because the studio can't hold their hands up and say, we fucked up. They leaked the Wonder Woman cameo purposely because of their desperation. They leaked the Superman cameo that was done purposely to uplift a bad movie in Black Adam. And they failed. Who did they blame? Superman. So Superman got fired. Will Wonder Woman get fired for the failure of Shazam! Fury of the Gods? I'm sure she won't because she's a woman. They've now got a statue of Wonder Woman and they're praising it. Where's the statue of Superman, right? Of course not, because we must only uplift women and not men. This is an extremist industry that has gaslit their own customers at the end of the day. And this is what they're doing. They're trying to distract and blame the fans because they're not happy. You know, David Sandberg, right, saw kind of a headline somewhere on another social media platform, comes onto Twitter and it says, and the banner says, David F. Sandberg blames the fans, and he goes, well, this is going to be bandied about like the truth. Then, in the next breath, he goes, I remember fans laughing at Leslie Grace for the Batgirl movie being shelved. Again, you're blaming the fans. You're picking out one comment and trying to attack the fans and make the customer look bad, distract from your own failure, the studio's own failure, the breaking of the DC brand. Instead of holding your hands up, he's crying like a fucking baby, saying, oh, I'm not doing superhero movies anymore. I won't miss the discourse anymore. Shame you can't get away from the discourse in your very own industry. Right, David? Right? Yeah, you come from a toxic industry. But that's right, David. Attack the fans. Blame the fans. And that's the problem. And I'm angry about this. Hold your hands up. The very concept of entertainment is you stand on a fucking stage, and if they don't fucking like what you're doing, if you get heckled, if you get rotten tomatoes thrown at you, you fucking take it. That's what the old actors used to do. They used to stand on a stage and people used to throw rotten cabbage at them and rotten tomatoes. And they still bowed, walked away. I don't remember them saying, not that I was alive back then, I don't remember them saying, oh, toxic fandom. Oh, it's all those toxic male fans. And I'm losing my voice because I'm angry. I'm angry. This is not on, people. This is not right, people. This is not the way you face failure. And you're wondering why your industry, why the entertainment industry in the West, the English-speaking entertainment industry, is in upheaval. Nobody's watching their streaming platforms. No one's watching their franchises anymore. First of all, they drove out all the talented people and employed a bunch of extremists. And we'll get to Victoria Alonso quitting Marvel Studios because that is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. What happened to supporting women, Kevin? And supporting minorities, which Victoria Alonso both is. Although she's fucking problematic, and I'm glad she's left, they'll just basically replace her with another extremist. We'll get there about Vicky. But the point is, going on social media, distracting from your own failure is shit. It's bad, it's embarrassing, and it triggers me. I used to stand on a deli counter and get mocked for the way I cut ham off the bone with a knife. Of course I wanted to nut them. Of course I wanted to scream at them, but I knew they were the customer. They paid my wages. But that concept is foreign to everyone in Hollywood. Well, apart from Zack Snyder, it seems, that takes everything on his chin. And wow, he's obviously got a very, very strong chin. I mean, it's terrible, people. It's embarrassing, people, to see people that have failed, whether they deserve to fail or not, whether their movie was the best thing ever. Let's be clear, Shazam! Fury of the Gods has many, many flaws, including Rachel Zegler's character. She's walking around like butter wouldn't melt, like she's Vivian fucking Lee. You're not. No one in this industry is peak or special. This era of Hollywood is shit. It's underwhelming, and you are not like your foremothers and forefathers. Let's be absolutely clear. And as I say, Rachel Zegler walks around like the sun shines out of her perfectly formed behind. I don't care. I don't care that Steven Spielberg handpicked you to be in his musical that failed. I don't care that you're in Shazam! Fury of the Gods playing a shit, underwhelming character. You were not one of the best things about the movie, unlike what Shields are saying. You are okay at delivering your lines, but there are other people that are better than you. But you've got that special DNA, as well as your other DNA, that makes you look like a minority. But you're not just a minority, are you now, Rachel? We know why all of a sudden your name is fucking everywhere. And you've got the cheek to argue with fans. Well, Rachel, you've got an extremist Snow White movie coming out soon, haven't you? If you can't handle the hate of Shazam! Fury of the Gods, just wait until your shitty extremist Disney movie is out. then you're really going to have a meltdown, sweetheart, darling. Let's see how you handle that. Blaming the fans for your own failure. Blaming working class people. Rachel, you are a millionaire actress, probably with a millionaire family. And you are arguing with working class people. Is this where we're at? And you all think that James Gunn's going to cast a magic spell and all of a sudden all this shit's going to be all right and they're not going to start attacking the fans. He's got Christina fucking Hodson as one of his writing team at DC Studios. Why can't you see the red flag? He said he doesn't feel the Superman script, Superman Legacy in his bones. He didn't want to direct it. He literally came out and goes, yeah, I'm directing Superman Legacy. It's out. Oh yeah, it's released on the same day as my dad. Oh, I didn't know. That was my dad's birthday. To my brother, till my brother told me. What? You don't even know your dad's fucking birthday? Even Grace Randolph, and I know she's obsessed with James Gunn, and they're not friends, but she's starting to make some good points. I'm starting to get really freaked out and frightened when me and Grace start agreeing about stuff. But a lot of the stuff she's saying at the moment is true, and I can't disagree. And if you can't see the red flags that are going to be coming very soon when they don't cast a white actor to play Superman, don't say, I didn't warn you. Black Clark Kent is still in active development, but you can't see that red flag. Are you fucking colorblind or something? Can't you see that nothing has actually changed? Someone said to me yesterday, oh, your stance has changed from a month ago. It's okay to change your stance. It's okay to be informed and learn things you didn't know and change your mind. I may change my mind back in another month's time, and that's okay. It's not about being consistent in your views. It's about learning something new and saying, there's a fucking problem. Yes, Shazam! Fury of the Gods flopping has changed my view, but it goes deeper than that. Because the more informed you get about situations, the more you kind of change your thinking. Oh, Tom Cruise loves the Flash movie. Oh, how fucking desperate. And you just thought you'd leak that out. That Tom Cruise, the most popular actor in the world because of last year's Top Gun Maverick, loves the Flash movie. You bunch of fucking desperados. You audience abusers. You sycophants. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And if you follow me on Twitter, you know I'm sick of the fan blaming. This happened with The Last Jedi. It's toxic fans. It's Russian bots. No! You force-fed Rian Johnson in the middle of J.J. Abrams' trilogy. He changed the course of where that was going, and people were underwhelmed, bored, and offended with what they did to George's baby. You may not like J.J. Abrams, but The Force Awakens is actually a really good, solid Star Wars movie and a good entry point. John Boyega, a great actor of colour, had electrifying chemistry with Daisy Ridley. They were going to have a great love story with their characters, Finn and Rey. And they took him away from that. They separated Finn and Rey and put him with an Asian character. And I loved that Asian character, by the way. I thought she was very likeable, sweet. I didn't have any issue with the actor or the character. But they took an Asian character, played by an Asian actor, and an actor of colour, playing a character of colour, and separated them from the other characters. Don't you think that's a little bit racist? But apparently, we're the ists, we're the isms, we're the phobics. No, there's no one more homophobic and transphobic and racist and bigoted than the people who run fucking Hollywood. These are the people who will only employ black people with Hollywood DNA. They will only employ Asian people with Hollywood DNA. That is not inclusion. That is a fucking lie. And they come onto Twitter and they attack DC fans and the general audience for not supporting their movie, for being happy that their movie failed. So what? Some people are happy that your movie failed. So what? That doesn't change anything. You don't like it, get out of this industry, right? Get out of this industry. Because this industry, making something means you're going to get a reaction to it, and it isn't always going to be a good one. Just ask Zack Snyder. But Snyder kept on going. And And now he's on Netflix and he's going to school Lucasfilm and WB. But this is what you get. And when we get the trailer for the latest Disney movie where they've basically race-bent yet another character, if anyone says anything, everyone's a racist. Everyone's a racist apart from kind and compassionate and angelic Hollywood. It's absolute bullshit. I am a DC fan. I want every DC movie to do well, even the shit ones. I don't wake up in the morning and say, oh, I want these movies to fail. Do I laugh a little bit when creative bankruptcy fails and their extremism fails and now they're going bankrupt? Of course I laugh. Of course I laugh. Because if they fail, there may be a chance that we get the talented people back in the industry and we get great entertainment. Because I'm passionate about great entertainment. I may look very tired to you today and irritable. It's because I was up all night re-watching 24 Legacy on Disney+. Even though I've seen it before, I loved it. Great entertainment. And once you watch one episode of 24, as other 24 fans will attest to, you can't put the fucking thing down no matter how many times you've watched the thing. But that's the point. Attacking your customers is not on. A bunch of millionaires having a go at working class people for having an opinion is not on. And I'm angry about it. So if you wonder why your industry is in upheaval, and right now they don't know what to do next because they can't actually admit their failings, admit their extremism and their hatred for men, they just keep on digging themselves a deeper hole. Like WB are doing. Oi David, oi Rachel, oi you, go onto Twitter and let's distract the narrative from our failure to the fans' toxicity. Fans ain't toxic. Fans just have strong opinions because they're passionate. But you're trying to twist it. We all, when Access Media were doing all their articles during, The Last Jedi about toxic fandom. I don't remember these articles when Batman versus Superman was being attacked. Where was the energy? Where was all the articles about toxic fandom then? Oh, you didn't mind when they were attacking Zack Snyder because he's not part of your clique, is he? He's just a guy who loves making movies, who's a geek, a nerd, loves games, loves sci-fi, loves superheroes. He's a big kid in a candy shop when he's making a movie. When he was talking about Rebel Moon on the Nerd Queens live stream the other day, you could tell he's talking about making the biggest game. They said to him, maybe you should make a small mobile game. He said, no, I want to make a proper big game. That's Snyder, a kid in a candy shop. Like George Lucas when he was using all the CGI for the prequels, a kid in a candy shop. He probably got a bit carried away with all the CGI he used, but he loves it. He wanted to create a great, world of escapism for the fans. That's George. That's Zach. They're the kind of filmmakers I want to interact with and, consume their stuff of. Not the extremists in the industry today. I don't care if you're a male director, a female director, an Asian director, a black director. I don't care what you're going to get chopped off tomorrow and call yourself tomorrow. If you've got a passion for stories and educating and entertaining audiences, you're with me. You're part of the family. If you're someone who's just in this industry to push extremism and hatred towards my agenda because you were abused by a bunch of people in a toxic, corrupt industry, then you're not part of the family. Imagine pointing the finger at your audience and working class people when you come from an industry of a legacy of child abuse, rape, a casting couch. Imagine that. Why don't you look at yourselves? Why don't you look at yourselves? So if you think DC Universe is going to fix any of these problems, as soon as they fail, they blame the fans. What did James Gunn say a few months back? There's a toxic fandom. Speaking about the Snyder fans. As a director, a high-profile director, saying that shows that you're losing, that you can't handle the pressure. Soups, aka Matt Ramos, spoke about what a hard job that James Gunn has got, and he's under so much pressure. The only pressure he's under is from a studio that's forced him to become a CEO or to get out of Dodge. It's the studio that's forced him to write and direct a movie he has no interest in with a character he has no interest in. James went there to make Suicide Squad, to do Peacemaker, to do stuff that he would enjoy doing and us fans would enjoy him doing. And now he's entrapped as a CEO and a writer-director of a movie he has no interest in making. This is where we are. How do you think that shit's going to end up? It's going to be a disaster. And when you and me say it's a disaster, guess what happens? Guess what happens, everyone? I'll tell you what happens. We get the blame instead of them. They distract the narrative. Now let's talk about other news. Now earlier, if you remember, I mentioned the removal of Marvel Studios co-president, vice president, or whatever title she had, Victoria Alonso. Victoria Alonso, I think, had been at Marvel for 18 fucking years. She was there a long time ago. But when things go wrong, you need a fall guy. And Kevin Feige has desperately needed a fall guy. The removal of Victoria Alonso proves to you that they're not happy with the box office of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Of course, how could they be? Or the reaction. They're blaming fans for leaking stuff, and now Victoria Alonso is the fall guy. One journalist saying that Victoria was responsible for the toxic workload that VFX artists had, and she's getting the blame for everything. So what was Lord Feige doing while this was going on? Did Victoria tie him up and gag him while she was screaming, "I'll get you, Penelope Pitstop"? Is that what happened? Are we calling, Lord Feige just an innocent victim? I mean, come on. How stupid are you people? Victoria Alonso clearly was a fucking problem. But where was she taking her orders from? Was she waking up in the morning and saying, "Fuck you, Kev, I'm going to give this workload to these VFX artists. I'm going to make shit, toxic, extremist movies, putting down men and having cringy gal boss scenes"? You think she came up with it alone? Let's get this straight. Disney now is an extremist left propaganda outfit. All the movies they're making are doing the same thing. They'll replace her with another extremist and try and say everything's good now. Why did the situation with the VFX artist and their workload ever happen? Because they were announcing Disney Plus property after Disney Plus property, more movies, and they didn't build up their workforce. Oh no, they wanted kind of like this child labour camp, right? Where you have the same workforce but doing more work. That doesn't compute, but they thought if we do that, we'll make a bigger profit. It happens over here in Cyprus. I need electricity fixing. Well, the electric guy can't come for 6 weeks because he won't get an assistant because he wants to make all the profits himself. It's the oldest trick in a book. When I worked in a shared accommodation, she always, the landlady always sent some dodgy ex-criminal to fix stuff because he was cheap, so her profit margin would be higher. It's the oldest trick in the book, and these things never work out. You end up spending more money than you ever would have. Look at them now. Their reputation is in the mud. Do they really think by forcing Victoria Alonso out, that their next movie, The Marvels, gets to make more money? But this is Hollywood. The DCEU's fall guy is you, the customer. And Marvel Studios' fall guy, fall woman, whatever you want to talk about, is Victoria Alonso. So I'm not blind. I understand this industry, and through me, you are going to understand this industry whether you like it or not. Because if you watch my videos, I'm going to educate you. The shilling and the bullshit has to stop, and the Hollywood hypocrisy has to stop. Shazam! Fury of the Gods was a failure. You failed, WB. And all of you who were involved in it, unfortunately, you're involved with a flop. David F. Sandberg going, "This is the lowest, rated movie I've got on Rotten Tomatoes." Boo fucking who? Get over it. It shows you how egotistical these people are. Be proud of your film, David. You made 2 really solid superhero movie entries in the DC Extended Universe. They're not 2 of the worst movies in the franchise. Nothing like it. So your movie failed. You knew that you'd be out of a job anyway. But you were hoping your movie would be successful so you could continue. Now, all of a sudden, I don't want to work in superhero movies anymore. It basically is fucking embarrassing, blaming your own customer for your misgivings, for your creative bankruptcy. This is WB's fault. This is the leadership's fault that ruined DC, got rid of Snyder, didn't allow him to finish his arc, and they are still there, hiding in plain sight. Nothing has changed. This has been Tuesday's edition of the DC Universe Daily with me, Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection, and I'll see you in the next video. Until I see you again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.